So hi guys, welcome. I hope everyone's doing well. So today I'm going to be going over a past paper, specifically the October-November 2025 paper. So this was last year's paper, whereby we'll be doing a paper 2, whereby we'll be going over document production, database, and then presentation. The full time for this paper is supposed to be 2 hours and 15 minutes. So in view of that, I will be breaking down this paper into 3 parts. I'll have document production in part 1, then database in part 2, and lastly presentations in part 3. Now, to help me in my timing for this paper, I am going to be using a timer just to see how long it takes and to just keep with the time for each component that I will be going over. So I already have my question paper open, as you could have seen, and I have my source files ready to go. And at the given time, I will be starting, and then I shall complete the paper parts, of course, so that you guys can see how long it takes me to do one part. So with all of that being said, so I shall begin this paper in 3, 2, 1, begin. So let's go over everything. I'll start off with my task number 1, whereby I'll be opening up an evidence document, and I'm supposed to make sure that my name, center number, and Kelly number appear on every page of this document. After doing this, I'll be saving this document in my work area with a new file name, which is evidence, followed by my candidate number. And we've been provided with an example on the format of how it's supposed to look like. You're not supposed to be using the 4 nines for your candidate number, but you use your actual one that you've been given. So in our case, it shall be 2026. And we've been told we will need this evidence document during the examination to place screenshots when required. So let's go into our folder. Evidence document is here. I'll open it up. Once it's opened, I'll close this, and I will have my candidate details up on top. I'll simply double click at the top of the header, and then I'll type in my name, my surname, comma, with a space, and then I'll have my center number, which I'll have it as this, comma, space, and then use 2026 as your candidate number. After doing so, go to File, go Save As, and then in our current folder from where we've opened the evidence, we are going to save it there with a new file name, which is evidence, all caps, and 2026 as our candidate number. We've not been told to change the Save As type, so we leave it as it is. Press Save, and then we have this part done. After doing so, task number 2 is like this. You are going to edit a document. The company uses a corporate house style for all their documents. Paragraph styles must be created and applied as instructed. So to start off with, we're going to be using a suitable software package to open the file event. Okay, and then we've been told the page setup is set to A4, portrait orientation, and then 2 centimeter margins. Now, we're not supposed to make any changes to these settings. 3 paragraph styles have already been created, and we're also not supposed to make any changes as well. But we're supposed to save the document in our work area with a new file name, which is TM capitals underscore capital F for festival. And make sure it is saved in the format of the software you are using. Then place an evidence in your evidence document, a screenshot to show this file has been saved, and also make sure there is evidence of the file type. So let's do this bit by bit. First off, let's open this file. Okay, let's go to our folder. We have event. I'll open it up. So here's the file. Then we've been told to not do anything with regards to these 2 steps, but we are going to save it. So save as again to our current folder where we open this file. Okay, and make sure that we're not in the incorrect file. So this one, file, save as, current folder. This name is going to be changed to capital T M underscore capital F for festival. All right. And because we've been told to make sure it is saved in the format of the software we are using, then this change needs to happen. Rich text format is going to be switched over to a Word document. Click on that, and then we press save. If it's done, then nothing to worry about that part. Now we can just simply take a screenshot to show this file has been saved, and we have to show the evidence of the file type. So head to our folder. There is the file, and usually you should have this blocked off so you don't see everything here. So simply go to the top here, before size. These are in columns. So at this part here, before size, click and hold and open this column a bit so that you can screenshot this part wholly. So the screenshot is as follows. Start from here all the way to here. Once the screenshot is done, we go to our evidence document and place it as the first evidence. That's done. Then let's go back to our question paper. And we've been told in the header of the TM Festival document, you're going to add an automated page number right align. So go back here. We can simply double click up there just to access our header. And then we will see page number here. Click on top and then say top of page. Since it's the only thing in our header, we can just simply place the page number as follows. Okay. And the next part says, place in the footer your name, center number, and candidate number right aligned as well. So for this part, we are going to be using a blank 3 columns placeholder, and see that I've clicked on footer. Click on footer, blank 3 columns. You'll get 1, which is the left, 2, which is the center, and then 3, which is the right side placeholder. Now we're going to make use of the right hand side and type in our candidate details. So surname, name and surname, comma with a space, and then you'll have your center number, comma, space, and then we add 2026 as our candidate number. Now we follow through. We're going to make sure that all the alignments match the page margin. So if this is supposed to be to the right, it is to the right, and the same for here as well. Just make sure that it's placed correctly. And once that's done, no other text or placeholders are included in the header and footer areas. This part is talking about the other placeholders we have here. So you can just click on one, press backspace or delete on your keyboard, and then the same for here as well. Okay. And if that is done, then we've been told to make sure the headers and footers are displayed on all pages. So we're supposed to have 1, and since it is automated, we're supposed to have 2. So that's there. Our candidate details is at the bottom in the footer, and it's supposed to be so here as well. So that's good. So everything is sorted. We can close the header and footer from here, and then we move to the next step. Next step is we're going to sort the list. So the list is accurate chip timing all the way to special commemorative medal. So this list is going to be sorted into alphabetical order. So first things first, let's go find that list. So from the top, we can check and see if we can see it. We can scan ahead, and I've already seen it. So this is the start, and this is supposed to be a list. And the last one in the list is special commemorative medal. So the whole list we have here, this is going to be sorted into alphabetical order. So to sort, make sure we're in home. Go to AZ, what you see here, the icon, and this is sorting. Click on this. What you have to do at this point, you don't touch this because this is the highlighted text, meaning what you've highlighted. And then we decide if you want to set it to ascending or descending. So if it's A to Z, meaning alphabetical order, we are setting it as ascending. If it was the opposite, then Z to A, then that should have been descending. But since we've been told it's going to be ascending, leave it there. Press OK, and we should see some changes with the text here. So press OK. And as you can see, there's been some changes. I'll zoom in a bit and undo so that you can see the changes. This was the original. Now this is the change that has been made. So A all the way to Z. So it's A, F, G, P, R, R, and S. That's the order it is when set to alphabetical order. Then, after doing so, the fourth step says apply bulleted list to the text from what we were just doing. Okay, so the text is already highlighted, so that's a good thing. We can leave the highlight and simply go to bullets. Okay, And once we click on that button, we should have the bullets applied to each and every line. Now, what else is there for us to do? So we've been told to format the bullets so that the bullets are indented to 1.5 centimeters from the left margin, as well as the list is in single line spacing with no space before or after each line. This is worth 3 points. So 3 things to do: apply bullets, set the indentation, and then line spacing plus the space before and after. These two can be done in the same place. That means after highlighting and applying the bullets, right click, we shall see paragraph. Okay, click on paragraph. You shall see that indentation is here. We have the left and the right. So the left indent is what we're going to be dealing with. And after that, line spacing is here. Spacing before and after is there. So left indentation is here. Line spacing is there as well. And the spacing before and after are here. So indentation is 1.5 centimeters. I'm just going to scroll up to do that. Line spacing is single. We leave it as single. But spacing before and after, these are going to be dialed down to 0. So that we have no space before and no space after. Now, see how it was before. And now after pressing OK, see the changes. Okay, so this is everything after all the settings has been done. That means we are on the right track. Now we can move on to the next step. So step 5 or question 5 says select the subheading race entry and the following text up to and including the paragraph ending. Be polite to them. So that means we need to make a selection from race entry, which is here. And we have to look at the end of each paragraph so that we can get and see be polite to them. So the selection is going to be starting from here. So race entry, check each and every paragraph to see if the end is be polite to them. So the first few has been a no. Here as well, nope. No here, no here, and be polite to them is here. So this is after the subheading, the root, and the second paragraph after that. So we're going to be highlighting all the way from race entry, all the way down till we reach be polite to them. So we are at root, and this is the paragraph we have to make sure is highlighted. Then, once this is done, I'll zoom out a bit so you can see the whole view. So this is the selection, and this selection is gonna be changed. So change the page layout for these texts, only this text, and to display it into 2 columns of equal width. Okay, and then we're gonna have a 1.5 centimeter space in between the columns. All right. So for us to set columns to the selected text, head to layout, and then we'll have columns right there. Click on it. Go to more columns. Don't select anything here just yet. So more columns, and then we can set the number of columns we want. Since we've been told it's going to be 2 columns, we're going to select 2 here. And then we have width for column 1 and column 2. Then there is the spacing. This spacing is for the spacing in between the 2 columns. So this space right there, this is the spacing we're talking about. And this spacing is going to be 1.5 centimeter space. So we're going to dial this up to 1.5. And as you can see, the width is the same. So that's good. Press OK. And this is the change that happens after we've done that. So that's good. So we can move on now. And we're moving on to step 6. Step 6, we have been told to create and store the following style. Okay. And this is going to be basing it on the default / normal paragraph style. Okay, so we're going to be creating a new one. So the steps to create a new style, I'm going to zoom in just so that you guys can see the text. And I'm going to make sure I'm not going to keep the highlight, but click here before race entry. Go back to home, right? And in home, we're going to have this part here. So you'll see there's this pop out here. Click on this little arrow for the pop out. And it's going to bring the sidebar. Usually it will be floating like this, so you can just dock it by dragging all the way to the right of your screen. Now, we have 1, 2, and 3 styles created alongside the normal and header. Now, If I click here on the title, you will see that title is highlighted here. The same for here, body is highlighted. So this is the default style that's applied throughout. Table is the same for here. So this, you can tell, is a table because of how the text are, but we're not dealing with all of these, but creating a new one. Here at the bottom, you have a button to create a new style. Click on this, and then here is where you will feed all the data that you have here in this table from your question paper. So you have style name, font style, font size, which is in points, alignment, enhancement, line spacing, space before, and space after, which are both in points. So we're going to start off with the style name. Okay, and we're not going to be forgetting about this because this is quite important as well. So TMF-subhead is going to be our name. So the first thing, TMF-subhead. Type it exactly how it's written. So small letter S here. And the font style is serif. So that means it is Times New Roman. Then the font size is 16. So next to it here, 16. Then alignment is center. So this is left, this is center, this is right, and this is justified. So we're going to change this to center. Following this, it's going to be bold and all capitals for the enhancement. So bold, we can get it here. But for all caps, you have to go to Format in Font, and then we have the effects here at the bottom. Okay, so all caps is here. Click on that, right? And then we're going to have to deal with these parts. So this from before, it's in paragraph. So if we go to Format, Paragraph, we shall see line spacing here. It's already single, so we can leave it the way it is. But spacing before is 0, spacing after is 6. It is 9 and 6 here, so 0 for before, and 6 we can leave it here. That's fine. So press OK. This is done. Press OK as well, and we can see this has been applied. So mind you, it's not supposed to be doing this here because we're going to have to do that afterwards, because I just took the chance because it says subhead and this is a subhead. I applied it directly. Okay, but if ever you had your whole selection up until here, okay, which I said to remove, and it's gone on subhead like so, you have to bring this back to body. Okay, and the text here, remember that it was table, you have to change it as well. So to avoid all of this from happening, usually it's best if we remove the highlights and we can just go below or everything, so that once that style is created, it doesn't affect any of our text. But this one, I played it smart. I made sure I'm close to end race entry because I knew that was going to be a subhead. So since that is done, we can move on to the next part. We've been told, I have to make sure about one thing. If you go to modify, the style based on, you make sure to keep that to normal or body. Since we knew that TMF body was the original, we can just leave it here because we've been told set it on the default, which was TMF body or normal paragraph style. So we can just leave that there. Okay. Now, we are told to take a screenshot to show that you have defined the settings for TMF subhead style. Now, we're going to make sure there is evidence that you have based this on the default or the normal paragraph style. Place this in your evidence document. So for us to carry out this screenshot, we have the list of styles here. We're going to go back to modify and we're going to screenshot this. So you have two options here, either Winky Shift S for you to screenshot this part, okay? Or you can just make use of FN Alt print screen for you to take a screenshot of only this window. So after your screenshot is done, press OK, go to your evidence, and we are going to paste this here, right? So since this is pasted, it's quite big, so I want to reduce the size of it, but making sure it's not too small and not too big, okay? Just to make enough space for everything else that's going to be coming. Now, since this is done, and we have evidence of our style based on with everything set, we can just go on to the next one. So now we've been told to identify 5 subheadings in the document and apply the TMF hyphen subhead style to each one. Now, we've already found one. This is supposed to be race entry. Now, we have to look for the other 4 because there is 5 subheadings. So that's 1. I see 2 here with entry fees, 3, run for charity, and then 4 with cancellation and the route. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 total subheadings for us to apply the subhead. So after highlighting each and every one, you can just simply click on subhead. Okay? And if you didn't understand how I did this, you can just simply highlight, apply one by one, like so, or you can just place your mouse on the margin. Once you click on the same line, it should highlight that text. The same for cancellation. I'm going to use Control to make multiple selection, and that should help me a long way. So subhead applied as it should. Good. Now we can move on to the next part. So now table. Locate table in the document and delete the entire row and contents of with the category elite runners. So here is our table, right? So now I'm going to do one thing first, is that I want to see the lines or the borders of my table. So if I simply highlight here, I should get this pop out. Okay, I can just simply click on here, which is the borders, and say all borders for me to see each and every column and row. Now, once this is done, what's the next thing I have to do? And that is delete the row which has the category elite runners. So this is the row it's talking about. I'm going to highlight this, and if you right click, you can have the option of delete cells or just delete here. This one might be best to use because if you click on it, you'll get delete rows. Click that and you should remove the whole row that you've highlighted. Okay, and the same thing, if you just click on delete cells, you can just say okay and it will delete the same thing, right? Then after we've done with that, we've been told that we're going to format the last row of the table to have a height of 1.5 centimeters. So the last row, which is here, so we're going to highlight the whole thing, and you'd want to maybe right click there, go to table properties. In table properties, you want to go to row, and there is a specified height that you can set. If you click on this, you can set the height to be the number you want it to be. So since it's going to be a 1.5 centimeters in height, we can just simply type it in, and that should be fine, and press OK. The changes has been added. So as you can see, here are the changes. There's a little more space down there. And with that, take a screenshot evidence to show the row height is set to 1.5 centimeters and place this in your evidence document. So we can just go back to table properties, and we're already in row. Take a screenshot of this top part right here. Okay, this should be fine as evidence. Press OK. Go to our evidence document, step 9, and we're going to paste this right there. Okay, we can reduce the size of this as well. Okay, just make sure it's big enough and it's clear. Not too big, but just big enough for you to get your marks. After that's done, we've been told to format the last row of the table so this last row, it's already highlighted, so I'm going to highlight it again. We've been told that it becomes a single cell across 3 columns. That means it has been merged. So if we've highlighted it, right click again, we have merged cells right there. We can just click on that, and then it should merge across all 3 columns. Good. Then the contents of the cell are vertically and horizontally centered. So that means we go to layout. If we go to layout here, we have the alignment section here. And if we want to vertically align horizontally, as well as vertical, as I mentioned, we just click the one in the middle, the most center there. That will allow us to have it centered horizontally and vertically all at once. Then we can just move on. It has a light gray 20 to 30% background fill. So that means we're just going to add a background color to it. If we right click again, we can have the shading, whereby we can just add a light gray color. So light gray, I think this should be fine, 20 to 30. So I think this should be fine-ish. So maybe we can just use this part here. So this is white, but I think we can get a darker 25. Yeah, this is a light gray. We can actually change the lighter one as well. Okay, so but just make sure when you select your shading, you can get this a light color-ish. So these ones should be fine. Okay, after that's done, next we're gonna format the table so that all the text in each row displays on one line. So let's take a look at this. What do we have if that's not on one line? Non-affiliated runners. So we have to make space so that this can fit on one line. If you see a little bit of space here, that means you can just reduce the width a little bit, okay? And then reduce this part as well until this falls onto one single line like so. So let me repeat that. We're gonna move this a bit to the right, okay? Once it's done, we're gonna move this part as well so that everything falls onto one single line. Good. Then we're gonna have a 1-point black internal and external grid lines displayed when printed. So for this one, I want you to highlight everything. You can just click this little cross there. This will highlight everything. You can right click and you have borders here. Click the drop down rather than here and we'll go to borders and shading. Once you're there, click on all to highlight, to add borders to everywhere and change the width so that it becomes one single point. Once this is done, press OK and then the changes will appear on the table as we've been requested. And after that, we've been told the table borders and all data fit within the column width. So one way to do this is to have your ruler, okay, make sure it's shown. So this lines there, these lines there. So if I remove this, you see that the rulers is removed. But if I check it again, it's back. Now we have to check and see if the table falls within these columns. So this row column which is found in, click in the text above and you see this. If you click and hold, you'll see one line that shows the whole column. This is from the left side. And if we click on this side as well, you'll see it gives us the right-hand side margin. Now with this, we can tell that our table is within the column so that we don't have to move much, but you can actually open this up a bit more and check to see if it fits within the column. If not, then we can just bring it back a little bit. Okay, just make sure it falls within and it doesn't go overboard, right? And this should be fine. I just simply open and reduce the width so that it falls within the column right there and then. So if that's done, then we've been told that the space after the table is maintained. So we don't have to do anything here. There's the spacing below the table. We leave it as it is. That means we can jump on to the next one. 12. Import the image track.jpg and place it in the paragraph starting the race starts. And then we're going to rotate this image 180 degrees. All right, so let's find out where this line is. The race starts. I'll zoom out and we'll check to see where we find the race starts. It's not here. It's not here. Not this one. Not this. Not this. Not even this. Not this. Not even this. I see it here. The race starts. So the paragraph starting the race starts. So that is it. That is it. So we're going to place the image here. Click before the T there. And I'm going to go into my folder. Where is track? There it is. So I'm going to copy this. Okay. You can just do a simple Control C as well. That works. Okay. I'm just going to Control C and go here. I'm going to paste the image right where I click before T. Paste. And this is the image that I have to work with. Now, this image, we've been told it needs to be rotated 180 degrees. So for you to do that, you can just right click on the image. Size and position is there. And then you have rotate for rotation. We need this to be 180. Okay, I just typed it in and press OK and it flips upside down. Good. Now, after that's done, 13. Crop the image to remove the blue sky above the clouds. The clouds must still be fully visible. So we have the clouds here and this top part needs to be removed. If we need to crop, we can also right click and we get crop here, or you can just go to picture tools, format, and crop is there as well. But right click is quicker, click there, and we need to remove everything that's on top except for the cloud. So the cloud needs to be fully visible. I think just there is fine. And then if you're done with that part, just click outside and your crop is done. If that's so, then we can move on to the next part. So format the cropped image so that it is resized to a width of 3.5 centimeters with no distortion. So that okay? And it is aligned to the right of the column and top of the paragraph starting the ray starts. Okay. And then the text wraps around the image. So let's do this one by one. It is resized to a width of 3.5 centimeters with no distortion. So I'm going to right click on this to size and position. Okay. We have the absolute width in size. This is going to be 3.5. So I can just type that in, 3.5, and press OK and make sure the lock aspect ratio is there. Do not remove it because that will prevent distortions. Press OK, and then our image has been reduced in size. That's good. And then it is aligned to the right of the column and top of the paragraph starting the ray starts. So that means we're going to just drag this towards the end here. So it's at the top and at the right of the paragraph. And lastly, the text wraps around the image. Good. So this one, we have this option here, which is text wrap, but right clicking as well, you get the same thing. So wrap text, text wrap, it is the same thing. You can choose between square or tight. These are the two options you have that you can make use of. Square just adds a little bit more space around the image, rather than tight just makes everything a bit closer. You can barely notice the difference, to be honest. Now this, we need to carry it down a bit so that you can see the guidelines, the two green guidelines. You can make use of this to make sure that you are in the correct position. If you see the left side of the right side guideline, that means you cannot move past that. That's outside of the column. And if you move up and down, you can get this green guideline at the top. This means you have reached the edge of this paragraph. So that means it's at the top, and to the right, we can just make sure it's within that corner. If that is done, then we're good. And then we can just move on to the next step, which says spell check and proofread the document. Good. So to proofread, we go to review and spell check. Spelling and grammar is there. Click on it, and then if it says we finished checking your selection, we want to check the rest of the document, please say yes. Because we want to start from the top or the bottom in this case, and then we go through everything. So paddle boarding, we can just separate these two, so we can just change that. Good. And then in previous years, places have sold. In previous years, places have sold within 3 months of launching. So I think this is fine. We can just leave that, right? It is fine. Okay. And then Ristawara, we can just leave that as well. Purchase, so we can just have this here as well. Okay. And that is fine. That's all she wrote. So we're done with this part. And if we're done, check out the next part of the question. Make sure that the list and table are not split over columns or pages. So make sure everything is within the column. So this is within the column. This also is within the column and it's not split. So that's good. There are no widths or orphans. That means you have one single line at the top or at the bottom of a page. So I think we're good. There's no widths or orphans, so that we're good. And then there are no blank pages. We have no blank pages. That's fine. And then the original styles are maintained. We did not remove body. Cancellation. The headings have changed. This has stayed the same. This is still table. So everything is okay. We have not changed anything. And the spacing is consistent between all items. So we did not change any spacing as well. So that's actually good, apart from the ones we needed to change. Good. And now save the document using the same file name and format using step 1. So that's simply a save. You can just click save here or Control S, that works too. And then we're going to print this document. So with that, I'm just going to print it as a PDF so you guys can see. And this is how our document is supposed to look like. Just press print after checking everything. And this is going into my folder. So let me just place this in my work folder. Here, practice folder. And then we're simply going to save this as our first printout. Okay, just print out one and we are done. That's it. Let's check our time. We have 1 hour and 40 minutes as well as 39 seconds left. So that's good track time. So we did this in approximately 30 to 40-ish minutes. So that's around the time you want to carry this step out. So that's it for the first video, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.